Honorable members, a very good morning to all the members. Today, 11th August 2023, I welcome you all to the mock parliament session, which is organized by Anandamarg High School, Durlapur, Bankura, and I hope this session will be fruitful. We will start today's session with our national anthem. I request all of you please stand up and recite our national anthem. On affirmation of our newly elected members. Secretary General, please.
Mr. Gaurango Dham, who stand elected from the Bankura constituency of West Bengal, will now take the oath or affirmation. Sir, do you want to take oath or affirmation?
Oath, please.
In which language do you like to take the oath?
In English, please. I, Gaurango Dham, having been elected a member of lower house of the mock parliament, do swear in the name of God that I will bear truth, faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India, as by law established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter.
Honorable Speaker, Sir, I have pleasure in introducing to you and through you to the House my colleagues, the new Minister, Mr. Azmarinath Tiwari, Minister of Food, Mr. Ujan Chatterjee, Minister of Transport and Communication.
Now the question hour starts. Question number 1, Mr. Sanjeev Dev.
Honorable Speaker, sir, I have a question to our Finance Minister. What measure is the government taking to address the growing issue of unemployment in India and promote job creation across various sectors of the economy?
Honorable Finance Minister, please.
Honorable MPs, I appreciate your concern regarding the issue of unemployment in our country. The government recognizes the importance of creating every job opportunities for our citizens. To address this challenge, we have undertaken several key initiatives. Our government has launched extensive skill development program to equip our workforce with the necessary skill for various industries. Through schemes like Skill India and Make in India, we aim to bridge the gap between job seeker skill and industry requirement. We are fostering a conducive environment for entrepreneurship and startups by simplifying regulation and providing financial support. This effort aims to promote self-employment and generate job opportunities. We are committed to continually evaluating and refining our strategies to ensure that every citizen has access to meaningful employment opportunities. Thank you for your concern, and I assure you that the government is working diligently to address the issue of unemployment in India.
Question number 2. Mr. Subhasis Dev.
At first, respected Honorable Speaker, sir, I would like to ask questions our Education Minister. What measure is the government considering to address the concerning paradox where the overall percentage of marks achieved by students is significantly high yet the quality of education and learning outcome remains suffer?
Honorable Education Minister, please.
Honorable MP, I appreciate the concern raised regarding the apparent disparity between student high marks and the quality of education. Our government recognizes the need for the comprehensive approach to education reform. To address this issue, we are implementing a multi-pronged strategy. Firstly, we are focusing on curriculum reform to ensure that it is more application-oriented and aligned with real-world skills. This includes incorporation practical learning, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills into curriculum. Secondly, the government is investigating the teacher training and professional development program by enhancing teacher skill and pedagogical technique. We aim to improve the delivery of quality education in classrooms. Furthermore, we are working on upgrading educational infrastructure, especially in rural and underserved areas, to provide students with conducive learning environment. This includes access to modern technology, libraries, and well-equipped laboratories. Honorable Sir, to assess outcomes more accurately, we are implementing standardized assessment mechanisms that go beyond rote memorization. This assessment will measure students' understanding, analytical thinking, and practical application of knowledge. Collaboration with private sector and academia is being fostered to bring in expertise, innovative teaching method and resources to improve the overall quality of education. Thank you.
Question number 3. Mr. Sandeep Mantru.
First, my namaskar, Honorable Speaker, sir. Sir, I would like to ask question to our Railway Minister concerning the recent increase in railway tickets price and the government and association of providing high quality services. There have been concerns raised by citizens about the quality of services and so forth on train. Reports suggest that passengers have experienced such services and recessive fraction with the quality of food. In light this concern,
who I minister is provide and a comprehensive experience of the measure and food services on trade and how the government plan address to our apartment disparity between the plan and quality services and actual expression of passengers.
Honorable Railway Minister. Yes.
Honorable MP, the Ministry of Railway acknowledges the importance of delivering a satisfactory experience to all the passengers. Regarding the increased ticket prices, it's important to note that the decision was made after careful consideration of various factors and including operational costs, infrastructure development, and the need to ensure sustainable growth for the railway system. The revenue generated from the adjustments will contribute to enhancing the overall rail infrastructure and service, ultimately benefiting passengers in the long run. Addressing the concern about the quality of service, and sir, I assure you that the Ministry is committed to continuously improving of passengers' experience. Efforts are being made to implement modernization and upgradation projects that focus on cleanliness, comfort, safety, and overall convenience. Additional initiatives are underway to enhance the quality of food service on train, with a focus on better sourcing, preparation, and distribution practices. Sir, we understand that challenges persist and there is a room for improvement. The Ministry is actively engaging with stakeholders, including passengers and consumer groups, to gather feedback and identify areas that need immediate attention. We are also investing the train programs for railway staff to ensure courteous and efficient service daily. Thank you for bringing up this important issue, and please rest assured that we are committed to addressing these concerns and make necessary improvements.
Question number 4, Mr. Chanchal Das.
Speaker sir, I would like to ask questions to our railway minister. Why are the dangerous train accidents like Coromandel Express measures are happening? What preventive steps taken for this?
Honorable Railway Minister, please.
Honorable MP, the Coromandel Express was supposed to continue straight of the up main line, but was wrongly switched to the parallel up log line at full speed, where it collided with a stationary goods train laden with iron ore. The station master, who is the part of the operation department, has also been named for failing to detect abnormal behavior of the signaling control system that could have prevented the tragedy. Those found guilty will be punished strictly. Sir, on the other hand, we have declared rupees 10 lakh compensation for all the families of those who died in this accident. Thank you.
Question number 5, Mr. Devan Karmakar.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to address a matter of great concern for our citizens. Would the Minister of Health and Family Welfare please explain the recent increase in medicine prices and the inadequate emergency services in government hospitals? The issues directly impact the accessibility and affordability of health care for millions of Indians. I ask the Minister to provide a detailed explanation of the steps being taken to ensure that essential medicines remain affordable and emergency services are improved to graduate to more and efficient healthcare during critical times of need.
Honorable Health Minister, please.
Honorable MP, thank you for bringing these concerns to the forefront. I understand the importance of affordable healthcare and efficient emergency services. Regarding the increase of medicine prices, it's essential to note that the pharmaceutical industry operates within a dynamic market influenced by various factors, including raw material cost, research and development investment, and regulatory requirement. However, the government is actively engaged in monitoring and regulating medicine prices through the National Pharmaceutical Prices Authority, means NPPA, and to ensure that essential medicine remain accessible to the general public. Honorable Sir, as for emergency services in government hospitals, we acknowledge that there have been challenges in delivering prompt and high quality medicines. To address to this issue, we have entitled comprehensive reforms in collaboration with state governments to enhance the infrastructure, human resources and facilities in government hospitals. These reforms include the education of medical staff, modernization of equipment and training programs to improve the efficiency of emergency response. Honorable Sir, furthermore, we are working towards training the 108 emergency ambulance service and expanding the network of trauma centers to the immediate assistance of patients during critical situations. Our goal is to ensure that citizens across the country can access quality medicines care without delay. Honorable Sir, I assure that the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare remains committed to this vital aspect, the healthcare. We will continue to monitor and evaluate the progress of these entities to ensure that our healthcare system meets the needs of citizens. Thank you.
Question number 6, Mrs. Hansita Mali.
Honorable Speaker, Sir, I have a question to Education Minister that why the people who aren't properly educated are getting the government job, especially in education sector, instead of the deserving educated properly? When this system will stop?
Honorable Education Minister, please.
Honorable MP, this is only in case of West Bengal when educated people are not getting the jobs. Only those students who have money and power are getting the jobs. But if you look into this matter carefully, the employment rate in India is gradually increasing. In 2023, it reaches nearly 46%. UP is the state which is run by double engine Sarkar got the highest employment rate.
Have you any counter question?
Yes. You only talk about UP. And what about other double engine states?
Day by day, all the states will have increased employment rate. And not only that, we are also working on some new organization or obtaining where deserving students will get the job. Honorable Sir, not only that, we also provide loans for young entrepreneurs and encouraging them to establish their new own business.
Question number 7, Mr. Gauranga Dham.
Honorable Speaker, I have a question to Food Minister. There are many companies that provide instant food for people that are harmful or for our health. Is government take any action on these issues?
Honorable Food Minister, please.
माननीय सांसद अधिनियम के तहत पाए गए
पर जुर्माना लगाया जाता है। आइए नजर डालते हैं ऐसी ही कुछ परिस्थितियों पर। माननीय महोदय, पहली बार कानून तोड़ने पर विक्रेता को 6 महीने से 1 साल तक की जेल हो सकती है या 2000 रुपये का जुर्माना स्थिति के आधार पर लगाया जा सकता है। दूसरी बार कानून तोड़ने पर 6 साल तक की जेल और लाइसेंस भी रद्द हो सकता है। माननीय सांसद, जब कोई मिलावटी भोजन जो स्वास्थ्य के लिए हानिकारक होता है तो विक्रेता को दंड संहिता की धारा 320 के तहत दंडित किया जा सकता है। लगातार रिपोर्ट एकत्र करके और दौरा करके राज्यों में और केंद्र शासित प्रदेशों में नियमों के कार्यान्वयन की जांच करना, खाद के लिए एक केंद्रीय समिति का गठन करना, सभी प्रकार की वस्तुओं का परीक्षण के लिए मानक और केंद्रीय खाद प्रयोगशालाएं खोलना, लोगों को अपने क्षेत्र के खाद्य सुरक्षा अधिकारी डीसी और खाद्य सुरक्षा आयुक्त को शिकायत करनी चाहिए। सरकार, ऑनरेबल स्पीकर सर, सरकार का उद्देश्य ये है कि मिलावटी और गलत ब्रांडों को आयात, निर्माण, बिक्री और वितरण को रोकना।
Question number 8, Mr. Anuruddha Ghosh.
At first, I namaskar to Honorable Speaker. In this session, I would like to address the concerning issue to Prime Minister of the extremely low rainfall and its impact on the drought condition across various regions of our country. Could the government provide an update on the steps being taken to mitigate the effects of this prolonged dry spell, ensure the water availability and support the affected communities and agriculture?
Honorable Prime Minister, please.
Honorable MP, thank you for raising this important concern. The government aware the severity of the situation caused by limited rainfall and subsequent drought conditions. To address this issue, we have implemented a multi-pronged approach. Sir, we are focusing on water conservation, improving irrigation facilities, and promoting drought-resistant crops, and enhancing the efficiency of water use in agriculture. Additionally, we are working closely with state government to ensure timely relief measures for the affected communities, including access to clean drinking water and employment opportunities through various employment schemes. Our commitment to sustainable water management and disaster preparedness remains steadfast, and we are actively collaborating with relevant stakeholders to mitigate the challenges posed by affected rainfall and safeguard the livelihood of our citizens. Thank you.
Question number 9, Mr. Sanjeev Goel.
Honorable Speaker, sir, I have a question to our Minister. What measure is the government taking to address the escalating price of petrol and its effect on the citizen, cost of living, and how does the government plan to ensure energy affordability and stability in the long term?
Honorable Power Minister, please. Honorable MP,
government recognizes the concern raised regarding the increasing price of petrol. The recent rise in global crude oil price has contributed to the upward trends in petrol price. To address this issue, the government is pursuing a multi-pronged approach. Firstly, efforts are being made to diversify our energy source and reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. Investments are being made in renewable energy sectors such as solar, wind and hydroelectric power to create a more balanced energy mix. Secondly, the government is engaging with oil-producing nations and exploring strategies to international oil price. Diplomatic efforts are being undertaken to foster cooperation and dialogue that can lead to more predictable energy market.
Question number 10. Mr. Ayush Mukherjee.
Honorable Speaker, I want to know from our Honorable Home Minister, what would you like to say about the counter-terrorism and what about the national security of the country?
Honorable Home Minister, please.
Honorable MP, the threat of terrorism is a grave concern that demands a resolute response. Our government has taken robust steps to enhance intelligence sharing, modernize our security apparatus, and collaborate with international partners to combat terrorism effectively. The safety of our citizens remains paramount, and we will leave no stone unturned in our efforts to secure our nation.
Have you any counter question?
Honorable Speaker, while the government states to have taken strong measures, we have witnessed instances of terror attacks on our soil. Can the Home Minister explain how these attacks could occur despite the so-called effective counter-terrorism efforts?
I appreciate the member's concern, but it's important to recognize the evolving nature of terrorism. Perpetrators constantly adapt their tactics, and it's a challenge for any nation. Our security forces have thwarted several potential attacks, and our commitment to learning from each incident and strengthening our strategies is unwavering. It's easy for the opposition to criticize from the comfort of their seats. We have been working tirelessly to ensure the safety of nation. Can the opposition provide any concrete alternatives instead of mere criticism?
Have you any counter question?
Concrete alternative. How about better intelligence? Improved coordination among agencies and proactive monitoring of radicalism. It's the government's responsibility to anticipate.
Can you please say it so loudly?
Responsibility to anticipate and prevent attacks, not just react afterward. Opposition.
I am glad that the opposition has offered some suggestions. However, I would like to point out that many of these measures are already part of our strategy. It's not a simple task, and we are constantly refining our approach. A knee-jerk reaction to complex challenges can lead to unintended consequences.
Have you any counter question?
Honorable Speaker, the government's responses to terror attacks often include knee-jerk action, like curfews and how does this square with their commitment
necessary to prevent further harm. An exception can't be an example. Our government's approach is always guided by the principles of proportionality and respect for human rights. Honorable Speaker, the opposition conveniently forgets the magnitude of the threat we face. The government has been successful in breaking terror networks, arresting key operatives, and improving our intelligence capability. Do you have anything left to say?
No more counter question, please. Stand down.
Thank you.
Question number 11. Mr. Subhasis Dev.
Respected Honorable Speaker, I would like to ask question our Defense Minister. Why don't they manufacture sufficient guns, weapons, and bulletproof jackets?
Honorable MP, I would like to inform you that the one common misconception about the Indian public is that wearing a bulletproof jacket makes a soldier invincible to bullet. It nothing such happens, and bulletproof jackets are useful only in sort of operations like hostage rescue, room intervention, sanitary roads, and some other civilian jobs. And sir, if you say about the guns and weapons, so I would like to inform you that India has always good friends who were willing to sell the weapons like Russia, UK, USA, France, etc. Given so much option, there was never a force to make guns and weapons at our country unnecessarily.
Have you any counter question?
Yes, sir. If India should have its own personality, so why our country is take from other countries?
Honorable sir, the only reason that is if we make guns and weapons in our country unnecessarily, so a huge amount of money will need to make it. That's why our country is taking help from other countries, and it will also make a strong bond with foreign countries, and it will also help us in export and import.
Have you any counter question?
So cannot our government spend money in making weapons, guns? So our India is a not wealthy country.
Sir, our country can obviously can spend money in making guns and weapons, but from where the monies come? The monies come from only tax and GST. This is the only source for the development of India. Sir, if we spend money in making guns and weapons, so we also need to increase tax and GST. Then there will be have a problem that our Indian public will protest against us that why we are increasing tax and GST. So what will we do?
So
No more counter question, please. Sit down. Members for this session. Now the House is adjourned to meet at next session. Thank you.